Jangan apa ya? Yuk.
Turned from a mid-season spell at Everton. No doubt, plenty of expectation on Real Madrid, as always, moving into their campaign.
Yeah, of course. And look, these are the champions of Europe. These are the champions of Spain. They are hoping to keep themselves on that pedestal. And when you have a manager of the ilk and the class and the desire of Carlo Ancelotti, even at his age, and I hope he forgives me, even at his age, he's still a born winner, and he wants to keep going and going and going. He's not going to let this Real Madrid team rest on their laurels. The minute they won La Liga, the minute they won Champions League, those medals were discarded. He will have ordered them to be discarded, and they've moved on literally the next day. Granted, a night of celebration, I'm sure, but after that, they would be fully focused on this season. And what bigger an occasion than El Clasico in Las Vegas in front of this packed house, this vociferous crowd, Callum.
A crowd of over 65,000, we're told, inside the gorgeous Allegiant Stadium. A raucous roar to welcome the two teams. Both history and hysteria in itself inside the walls of Allegiant Stadium. A gargantuan crowd for a juggernaut football match. The eyes of the world fixated on Las Vegas, fixated on Real Madrid, Barcelona. Whether you're watching in London, Lisbon, Lahore, Liverpool, this is Las Vegas. Arguably the entertainment capital of the world, and the perfect place for both to enthrall and compel. Handshakes aplenty, and all eyes on Robert Lewandowski, the new Barcelona centre-forward, making his debut today. So then let's focus on Real Madrid then, Matt Lawrence. Your eyes focusing on both ends of the field today.
Yes, certainly for me, this could be the end of the line for Eden Hazard and his Real Madrid career. I feel he needs to offer us something. Of course, not just tonight. This is still a pre-season friendly. Whatever we think of this massive occasion, but we need to see something from him. He needs to stay fit, and he needs to offer us what we saw at Chelsea. And talking about Chelsea, the other end of the field, I'm a defender by trade, all about Rudiger. What can he offer this Real Madrid backline? Can he offer stability alongside Militao?
So then, from a Barcelona perspective, Xavi, the head coach, is in attendance, we're told. 5 adjustments after that 6-0 thumping of Major League Soccer's Inter Miami. All eyes undoubtedly, though, Matt Lawrence, on Robert Lewandowski.
And why wouldn't they be? We've seen his face flash up on the big screen time and time again. He's met rapturous roars every time we see his face, but he's all about goals, isn't he? Just under $50 million they paid to Bayern Munich for this guy who's 33 years of age, nearly 34. He hasn't got many years left, but if he can carry this Barcelona side to La Liga glory and then to Champions League glory, it will be worth every penny, even if he only lasts a season or two.
So then, the fixture that he is more than familiar of, over 500 appearances and 15 major honours as a Barcelona player, now in charge of steering the ship. Carlo Ancelotti, of course, returning to Real Madrid after success elsewhere. The former Juventus, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern München man now again in charge of Real Madrid, and delivered their 35th league title and their 14th Champions League triumph, arriving from Everton last season. Well, regardless of this being a so-called friendly, this a fixture that lives right on the edge. in a place that often delivers sport right on the edge. A compelling and enthralling evening expected. And so away we go. And we welcome you to the planet's ultimate club game. This modern-day juggernaut of a football match. The champions of Europe, the conquerors of Spain, up against the most envious and immaculate of rivals. A classic of its time, and quite beautifully, appropriately named El Clasico. Welcome to one of the great thrills of our game. Welcome to Real Madrid versus Barcelona. An exhibition version of it, but Matt Lawrence, this will hardly be friendly here this evening.
No, it won't be at all. And look, my football snobbery is well and truly in check. This is a massive game here, massive sense of occasion, certainly for all of the fans here, and of course for the players on show here as well. Both sides have gone with really strong lineups, and already we see in the middle third of the park the challenges are going to go in. This isn't going to be a particularly friendly.
Exhibit A, Robert Lewandowski, with a rather spontaneous and aggressive introduction to El Clasico. Here's Courtois. Real Madrid, of course, finishing above Barcelona in the standings in the La Liga table once again last year. Champions of Europe after beating Liverpool in the UEFA Champions League final. He once again masterminded it. 13 points they finished ahead of second place Barcelona in the last campaign. Barcelona with no league title for the last 3 years. As it stands, the La Liga trophy has found a home in Madrid, in between both Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. Barcelona in need of some fine-tuning. Robert Lewandowski, the well-oiled Polish goal-scoring machine, here to answer their call. Here's Araujo. Barcelona look for an early advantage here. Ansu Fati. Ball comes across goal. Scrambled away by Rudiger. Back into the danger zone. Met in mid-flight by Militao. Fast and frantic start to El Clasico here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it is, and I think you make a really valid point, Callum, as well, about Barcelona and the fact that they've played second best to their biggest rivals, Real Madrid, for 3 years now. 2018-19 was the last time they won La Liga. And I think they want to put down a marker, and they want to put down a marker as early as possible. And that could start here in Las Vegas. Granted, no points are on show at all, but they've started fast. They started frenetic, Barcelona here. And there's a reason that they've brought in the likes of Rafinha. There's a reason they've brought in Lewandowski, Frank Kessie, Andreas Christensen as well. It is to propel themselves and to get a foothold not only in La Liga but also Champions League and be successful again to back where they believe they belong.
Here's Ansu Fati. Gets the halfway out he needs. Tidied up by Rodrigo for Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior taken down, no free kick given. Here's Camavinga to tidy up. Vasquez. Amongst the crowd. Camavinga again. Alaba. It's the former Bayern Munich man who played alongside Robert Lewandowski for many a year. Barcelona forced into a defensive moment. Christensen coming across the cover.
Yeah, about the first we've seen of Andreas Christensen, the man who's come across from Chelsea, of course, on a free transfer. A great signing, Christensen. Really is very solid defensively and suits the Barcelona mould as well. Very comfortable on the ball, will be more than happy to carry the ball out of the back.
Jordi Alba interrogating pass forwards, which Courtois is able to gather. Of course, no Karim Benzema for Real Madrid here this evening. He's of course joined them on this pre-season tour of the United States, but no Carlo Ancelotti neglecting to give him the opportunity of playing in front of the crowd here today. A very different role for Eden Hazard up front for Real Madrid. Rodrigo. Well, the referee's been lenient in the opening 5 minutes.
I absolutely concur, very lenient. Sometimes you like the game to flow, but also you don't really want to let everything go and just offer up the players on the field. If they think the referee's been lenient in pre-season, they're going to have a little nibble in the middle of the park, aren't they? They'll put the challenges in.
Miscue on the far side from another new boy for Barcelona, Rafinha, who's arrived after 11 goals in 35 Premier League appearances for Leeds United under the American Jesse Marsch last season.
Yeah, and a poor Leeds United side as well, so to be scoring 11 goals in a side that just about escaped relegation. You know the guy's got talent, and he really did instigate this move between himself and Barcelona. There was no way in the world he was going to be allowed to stay at Leeds United. However much Leeds United coveted him, wanted him to stay, he was always going to be on the move, similar to Calvin Phillips in a way, and Manchester City.
Well, Rafinha, the most expensive signing of the off-season for Barcelona, costing the cool €48 million. Lewandowski, the most high-profile, though, no doubt about it. Here's Rodrigo, stopped in his path by the ever so impressive Pedri in the centre of midfield. Here's Christensen. Busquets. Delightful little dink forwards, required an intervention which came from Alaba. There's Thibaut Courtois, immaculate goalkeeper on his day. Albert. To Stegen. I think on hand here for Real Madrid. Militao. And Antonio Rudiger. Another free transfer arrival from Chelsea in the off-season. And the miscue. Perhaps Barcelona can take advantage. Ansu Fati seemed to get himself tangled up.
And he certainly did get himself tangled up, Ansu Fati, there. But also you have to credit Lucas Vazquez for getting himself back into position. He had just vacated that right-back berth initially, but got himself back in position. And talking about fullbacks, it looks as though Antonio Rudiger is playing as a left-back at the moment. Certainly surprising to us, but I don't think it's just that's where he's positioned now. I think that's where he has been for the first few minutes of the game. And I think that's his position for the first 45 minutes. Certainly my assumption, not why Real Madrid signed him, to play as a left-back, Callum.
Talking of left-backs, Alaba into Fati. Pedri with a delightful ball to the far side. Into the green-booted Rafinha. Garcia. Passes beautifully into the club. Rafinha once more. Here comes Barcelona. Rafinha, twinkle toes. Busquets. Gavi. Barcelona happy to retreat for the time being. And already, short of 10 minutes, the LAs have started. Here's Rafinha. Twisting and turning. And this time, the standing fullback, Antonio Rudiger, doing just about enough to thwart Rafinha.
Well, his one-on-one test defending is certainly going to be tested here, and you see it. The quick feet, the trickery of Rafinha. But Rudiger stood up big and strong, and he watched the ball. He wasn't watching the hip movements. He wasn't watching the body sways of Rafinha. Watched the ball and defended really well there, Rudiger.
Real Madrid finds something here. Valverde. Delightful ball in towards Eden Hazard. Defended by Garcia to Stegen. To Busquets.
Again around the German, or the Pole, Lewandowski. And as he strikes towards that near post, Ter Stegen gets down very well to his left-hand side. Too wide, too tight an angle, really, for Lewandowski to trouble Ter Stegen.
Cleverly done. Sufati unable to combine. It's not the best efforts of Robert Lewandowski. Camavinga comfortably into the path of Courtois. Just the 29 La Liga goals conceded last season for the Belgian. League winner with Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid and Chelsea. 15 clean sheets last season. You have some work to do to keep a clean sheet here tonight. Lewandowski put away by Alaba. Rodrigo. Now the turn of Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior. Can they find something here? Rodrigo. Tchouaméni. Aurélien Tchouaméni. And now the Olés starting from the Real Madrid fans. Hazard. Vinicius Junior. Craving half a yard. Arriving with supporters, Rudiger took a deflection and scrambled away by Alaba.
Well, the marauding Antonio Rudiger very much on show at the moment down that left-hand side. As I say, this is not why Real Madrid bought him. Certainly my assumption, they didn't buy him to be playing as a left-back. But playing as a left-back he is right now. Alaba and Militao, the left-sided and right-sided centre-halves. And he's really doing a job on Rafinha right now, is Rudiger.
Alaba. Here's Eric Garcia, Spanish international. Who's left Barcelona in 2017 for Manchester City, but then returned in 2021. He's 21 years of age. And for those potential suitors watching on, in case you're wondering, the buyout clause is just the 400 million euros. Rudiger making the challenge necessary. Alaba getting the better of his former teammate Robert Lewandowski. Here's Rafinha. Gavi. And Garcia once again. The pass from Christian Tech. Sways the right arm in apologetic fashion. Rather than a clash between two former FC Bayern players here.
Yeah, Alaba certainly with a raised foot there. Lewandowski just at the last minute just ducked his head. Took a little bit of a nick on the shoulder, but he'll be all right, Lewandowski. So here he is again, Callum as well. Rudiger, you see him playing as a fullback, taking the throw-ins. Completely old school, old-fashioned route. Fullback right now, Rudiger. Very surprising, I think, to see him in that position. But he's sticking limpet-like to Rafinha at the moment. And so far, honours not quite even. Honours really have gone to Rudiger.
Well, he's had admirers in Madrid for many a year. The 29-year-old joined in June after 5 seasons at Chelsea. Ironically, his last Chelsea goal came against Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League quarter-finals.
And also his best season at Chelsea was his last season. No surprise for me, you quite often see that, whether it's in football, whether it's in NBA, NFL players coming to the end of their contracts. They seem to find that extra 1 or 2% to show to potential suitors what they can do.
Well, he's been able to find the extra 1 or 2 bodies this season, hasn't he, Carlo Ancelotti? Very, very busy, and once again, the whole host of money spent by Real Madrid to keep themselves where many believe they belong, towards the top end of European football. Busquets. Forward at the second time of asking, repelled by Alba. And now Camavinga, turning into trouble, and able to wiggle away. Never so delightfully. Rodrigo. Camavinga taken down. Referee immediately recognising the situation.
Yeah, but great ball retention there from Real Madrid, and just that willingness to take the ball in tight spaces there from Camavinga. Got his body in between himself, went between the Barcelona player and the ball. First touch was spot on as well, just invited the challenge on and then went over. No surprise really that both sets of players willing to take the ball in tight spaces. The best of the best right here.
Rodrigo going a little short. Courtois like it. Studio taken down by another evasive challenge from Ronald Araujo. The Uruguayan pleading his case. Here come Barcelona again. Even Bosch able to find Rafinha. And Courtois, as well as Vasquez, time under pressure. Camavinga. And Barcelona defend another spring, and the counter press here from Real Madrid. Rudiger, from opening the scoreline here in Las Vegas. Valverde coming within a whisker mark.
What a strike this is! It's a terrific first touch as well. He hits it with full force with the laces of the right boot, and you see the goal shake, the camera shake, so close. A whisker away there, Valverde.
So 18 minutes to pass, Matt Lawrence. Thoughts, observations?
I quite like pre-season friendlies, Callum. I'm all for them. It's such, not only is it a spectacle, but to see these players here as well, maybe not playing quite at full tilt. It's the first friendly for Real Madrid. And let's be honest, Barcelona weren't exactly tested against Inter Miami either. But this is being played at 90–95%. And it's fun and it's exciting.
And Sufati to Jordi Alba. Araujo. Christensen, of course, brought into a backline that conceded 38 goals in 38 La Liga games last year. Busquets, picked up into the sky by David Alaba. Miscue from Vasquez. And now Camavinga. Awkward turn from him. Real Madrid very near the architects of their own downfall.
Well, and this is all about Camavinga. He tries a little Christ turn in his own penalty area and gets it all wrong. And so does Ansu Fati, though. He goes with his left foot, and the inside of his left foot, it's always curling away from goal. He needs to hit it with the laces or the outside of the left foot to keep it on target. It's a poor effort from Fati, as it was from Camavinga.
Nothing at the other end of the field. Here come Real Madrid. Rodrigo. Hazard. Rudiger. Can they find a way through on this occasion? Not if Araujo on the far side has anything to do with it. Superb piece of defending from the Uruguayan.
It really was. defence is on top right now. And one-on-one defending has been quite glorious so far. We've seen Rudiger on Rafinha, and there we see Araujo as well. Quite fantastic defending, not willing to watch the body swerves, the hips move. It's all about focusing on the ball, keeping that low centre of gravity as well. And Araujo, he loved it, and then he fired the ball against the hoardings as well. Don't get kidded on that this is just a pre-season friendly. This means the world to some of these players.
Tadi. Rafinha's ball in, away by the commanding head of Alaba. So Shaving forced a long way out. Calmly clipping into the channel.
Well, as is the want of the modern-day goalkeeper, both Courtois and Ter Stegen, so calm under pressure and with the ball on their feet. Both have great starting positions. Ter Stegen constantly 25 yards, 30 yards out of his goal. Always on his toes, always expecting a quick counter from the opposition.
Busquets. And Valverde now into Eden Hazard, who is tripped by the trailing leg of Rafinha.
Well, it's not quite his position, is it? Eden Hazard is dropping deeper and deeper. He doesn't really want to be playing as that archetypal number 9. Yes, wearing the 7 shirt, but playing as a centre forward here. And as the game has progressed, Callum, he's been dropping deeper and deeper, and there we saw him being fouled in the centre circle. That's how deep he's dropping.
Well, our coverage of the Soccer Champions Tour 2022 continues on Tuesday when FC Barcelona take on Juventus at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. That a 7:30 kickoff Central Time. Tuesday, Real Madrid take on Club America at the Oracle Park in San Francisco, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And then Saturday, Real Madrid take on Juventus from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California at 7 p.m. Pacific. A fabulous pre-season tournament continues. Treated to Juventus Chivas Guadalajara last night here in Las Vegas. Juventus victorious by 2-0. Lewandowski caught in the crowd. And Courtois thumping away.
Well, it's intriguing, Callum, to see any time the ball goes near Lewandowski, the white shirts swarm around him, not just defenders, but the holding midfielders as well, whether it be Tchouaméni, whether it be Camavinga. They're getting around him. They're not allowing him too much time on the ball.
Tadi. Combining with Rafinha. So Rafinha will leave the throw now for Araujo. Joined Barcelona B in 2018 from Boston River in Uruguay. Last goal for Barcelona actually came in a 4-0 victory over Real Madrid back in March. At the penultimate defeat of the La Liga season for Real Madrid. Robert Lewandowski continuing to show his new teammates what they have to aim for. And he'll be delighted to know the next competitive meeting between these two sides will actually be the 250th iteration. I think there's a sense of occasion today. Now defending to do for Real Madrid as Rafinha stands over, and a myriad of maybes for Barcelona. Who run themselves a throw on the far side. Carlo Ancelotti replacing Zinedine Zidane in June. 11 major honours to his name. Won league titles in 5 different countries and the Champions League 5 times. Here's Garcia. delightfully driven ball into the path of Rudiger though. Camavinga. Here's Rudiger again. And Real Madrid look to interrogate Barcelona. It's Rudiger! And wide.
Well, he may predominantly play as a centre-half, Antonio Rudiger. But look at this. The overlapping fullback picks the ball up from Camavinga just inside his own half. And with nobody closing him down, he decides to have an effort at goal. Should never be able to get within 22, 23 yards of the goal without being closed down. It's another post strike. He has to do better there, Rudiger.
Shaking force into a clearance.
نتوقع النتائج.
Many forced into the pass out wide. It's amongst the forest of Barcelona players pressing. Militao, a little uncomfortable. High press, high stakes, high rewards. Rafinha with his second goal for Barcelona, who lead in Las Vegas in El Clasico.
Well, you told us as well. And boy, is Rafinha happy with that. Leeds United fans know what he can do. And now Barcelona fans know what he can do.
They will be delighted. As we insinuated earlier on, Matt Lawrence, this may only be an exhibition game, but it means so much more. This is now Hazard, as Real Madrid look for an immediate response. Barcelona leading by 1-0. Rafinha's second goal in as many pre-season games. The question will now be what sort of a response do Real Madrid have up their sleeve? How will Militao be thinking? What will he be thinking after giving away the ball so cheaply and so poorly?
Well, I'll definitely be thinking, don't try and play square balls across the top of my own penalty area with my weaker left foot. Granted, a professional footballer should be two-footed, but he got it all wrong. And Rafinha just said, thank you very much. And in a split second, in a blink of the eye, almost the ball's in the back of the net. Nothing Courtois can do about that.
Nothing. Here come Barcelona again. Pedri. Rudiger to meet him in mid-flight. Of course, we have a moment, Matt Lawrence, the two centre-backs for Barcelona, Christensen and Garcia, playing together for the first time. What have we made of them? What does your centre-half expertise think?
Well, I think they're very thankful that they're playing up against Eden Hazard and not against Karim Benzema. Yeah, look, they haven't been tested. They haven't been tried, they haven't been tested. Hazard's never going to run in behind them. As we all know, and Hazard in the summer shouldn't really be wearing white. It's going to be another couple of months till he's at his peak fitness, that's for sure. And Garcia and Christensen are quite happy to deal with him right now.
Rafinha's ball in. Oh, met in mid-flight. Barcelona happy to retreat.
Yeah, look, first and foremost, Christensen and Garcia know that Eden Hazard's not going to run away from them. They don't always have to get tight. He hasn't got electric pace at the best of times. Right now, certainly, he's not in peak physical condition. And it's comfortable. This is what you want as a centre-half pairing, Garcia and Christensen. You're getting to know each other. You're getting to know the flaws, the limitations in each other's games. And, of course, you're getting to know what the best of attributes are of each other. It takes a while. It takes time for those relationships to grow. But they're starting to grow here, that's for sure.
Busquets. Jordi Alba. Tyson ball in for Fati. Thumped away by Militao. Taking no chances this time. Rodrigo taken down and a free kick to Real Madrid. Rodrigo. Former Santos winger. Vasquez. Gets the half a yard he needs. Nudged away by the head of Araujo. He picks up the ball again here, the Uruguayan. He fancies himself up against Rodrigo. Araujo. And still Araujo. Pieces are picked up here by Ansu Fati. Rafinha. Rafinha, Lewandowski!
Well, they are all at sea right now, Real Madrid. It's all Barcelona. The ball is fizzed into the penalty area, and that's exactly what Lewandowski wants. He pulls off the defence, but let's credit Alaba. Terrific block.
Rafinha's ball in, away by the head of Rodrigo. Jordi Alba. Playing with Rafinha. Real Madrid desperate to find a way out, so they can't at the moment. And Barcelona happy to find comfort in the centre half, Garcia, and now Araujo. Well, it's goals that Barcelona have needed, particularly over the course of the last 12 months. 68 scored last year, the lowest number since the 2003-04 season. Year where they finished second behind Valencia under Frank Rijkaard. It's also the year that we were treated to the introduction of Ronaldinho from Paris Saint-Germain. They've certainly addressed the goal-scoring issues. Rafinha with the goal here this evening, and Robert Lewandowski has shown he is still more than capable.
Yeah, they've spent big money. They've gone big. They may be 10 figures in debt, made Barcelona, but they've had a go here, haven't they, this summer? And they may be players added on top of this.
Now then, Robert Lewandowski, well charged down and into the path and the grasp of Thibaut Courtois. Alaba knows every trick Lewandowski has up his sleeve.
Yeah, and you may know every trick, but sometimes it's hard to stop. We all used to know how Iron Robin would cut in from the right-hand side onto his left foot and curl it into the top corner, but it was tough to stop.
First yellow card of the evening, Brandeschatz.
Yeah, this is Christensen on Hazard. A comfortable decision and an easy decision for the referee to make, right under his nose as well. Yellow card to Christensen. The referee positioned himself well. We don't always credit the referees with positivity, with good play, but that was good refereeing there. Good positional play as well.
Militao forward for Valverde. Easily gathered by Ter Stegen. It's been the number one for Barcelona for many a year now, of course. Joined all the way back in 2014 from Borussia Mönchengladbach. Here's Ansu Fati. Clever manoeuvring inside. And well defended by a retreating and desperate Lucas Vasquez.
Fantastic defending from Vasquez here. Fati absolutely skipped by Militao. But Vasquez stayed strong, went shoulder to shoulder. Didn't just dangle a leg to be fallen over, just got a toe in.
Fati. Jordi Alba's ball in. Away by Militao. Lewandowski got a hold of it. Last touch indeed did ricochet off of the new Barcelona centre forward and behind for a Real Madrid goal kick.
He's going to be shooting from anywhere, isn't he, Lewandowski? Desperate for a goal here against rivals Real Madrid. He's had one effort from a really tight angle that was well saved by Courtois this time. A little double ricochet, but slightly unfortunate there, Lewandowski.
And Lawrence, what have been the observations of the two young central midfielders for Barcelona, Pedri and Gavi? Pedri 19, Gavi 17.
Haven't seen masses of them. They've been trying to play the ball out wide. Barcelona's seen a lot more of Ansu Fati and Rafinha, of course. But they've held their positions well, and of course well marshalled by Busquets. The ages of the two youngsters just about the same as Busquets. 36 for the two youngsters, Gavi and Pedri. And 34, of course, for Busquets. He will be talking to them the whole way through. And they've done well, they've held their positions. But we haven't seen the trickery and the true genius of the two youngsters yet. And I don't think we've had to. I think Barcelona have been very dominant so far inside this opening 36.5 minutes without truly extending themselves.
Well, no doubt they'll learn a thing or two from him as well. Xavi watching on.
Well, it's great to see Xavi here as well after not being let into the country. I know there's certainly a few immigration issues, but wonderful to see him here in Las Vegas.
Well, unsurprisingly, one or two choice words between a Real Madrid and Barcelona player. I'd imagine that's the last time we'll say that particular sentence this evening.
Well, certainly not while Real Madrid are getting outplayed as well, not just in terms of the scoreline, obviously 1-0 to Barcelona, but you look down at possession stats, 56% at least to Barcelona, 6 shots, 2 on target, not a single shot on target for Real Madrid so far.
There's Camavinga. Lifted beautifully into the path of Vinicius Junior. Real opening here. Really good block. And Barcelona live to fight another day. Stupendous piece of defending from Christensen, who stood his ground impeccably.
Absolutely, that stood his ground, didn't sell himself. Focused fully on the ball. Araujo may have got absolutely done the right back. Yes, a little bit fortuitous, but Christensen comes across, covers behind his fullback, as any good right-sided centre-half should do. And stood strong, made that block as well. Still no shots on target. Part of that is down to the good defending from Barcelona. Part of it down to the lack of quality from Real Madrid. And talking about lacks of quality, you don't very often see foul throws between teams of such ilk, such wonderful talent as this. Araujo with a foul throw.
Here's Courtois. Throwing Tchouameni into the path of Militao. Won't be enthused to find himself with the ball on the edge of his own penalty area again, I'm sure. Another robust challenge from Busquets on Camavinga.
Yeah, they're really pushing high, aren't they, Barcelona? They're not giving a moment's respite to the likes of Militao or Alba. When they're in possession, they're closing them down right up to the top of the penalty area.
Intervention needed again. Here's Rafinha, the Barcelona goal scorer, for those of you joining us late. Now to Stegen. Flipped beautifully into the path of Jordi Alba. Ansu Fati. Glorious pass inside. Here's Gavi. Now Rafinha to the back post, and well gathered and watched by Thibaut Courtois. Robert Lewandowski showed a particular interest. Rodrigo and Hazard. Can he have a moment in the game? Vinicius Junior still unable to find a way through. And rather abrasive piece of defending from Araujo. Robert Lewandowski now forward, and it's less forward in towards the path of Ansu Fati, who is flagged offside. A little too eager on this particular occasion. But on a night like this, Malam, you can hardly blame him.
No, not at all. And look, we've just seen two contrasting moments from Araujo. A brute of a defender 1 second, and then a wonderful crossfield ball the next.
Vinicius Junior lays it across goal. Valverde and wide. From one end of the field to the other for Real Madrid.
And he rattled the woodwork with a strike, Valverde, earlier in the game. This time, a slightly more difficult effort. The ball comes out to him, and he just tries with the outside of his right foot just to curl towards the top far corner of Ter Stegen's goal. Really difficult skill from Valverde.
Real Madrid will carry on. Here's Camavinga. Valverde turning into trouble. Rodrigo. And still Rodrigo. Really well watched and gathered by Ter Stegen in goal for Barcelona.
Well, the anticipation here. The safe pair of hands from Ter Stegen at the near post. Rodrigo tries to whip the ball across the face of the 6-yard box.
Lovely lofted ball forwards. Perhaps an opening here for Pedri. Stopped in his tracks for the time being. Barcelona still in possession. Pedri having a bit of fun in the midfield as well. Now Real Madrid manoeuvre forwards. Here they come. Rodrigo taken down. And the free kick and a yellow card brandished. As the decibels rise inside Allegiant Stadium. And a little bit of afters between the two sets of players.
And here we go. El Clasico. We have it on our hands right here. If you think pre-season friendlies are meaningless, just look at this here.
No love lost between these two.
And I'm not getting in between Araujo and Rudiger either, that is for certain. Two brutes of defenders. Tall, muscular, physical, and that will to win, that drive to win, the pure desire that has made them what they are today. It's right here on show. There it is, Vinicius Junior. A very close challenge, but then is absolutely scythed down. It's a poor challenge on Vinicius Junior, but it was always coming. And then the afters in the background as well. Busquets getting fully involved. Eden Hazard just grabbing hold of him. But then it escalates, Callum.
Well, one would assume that Rodrigo will be able to shake it off. Confirmation of that yellow card for Jordi Alba. Well, what this does, Matt Lawrence, is it presents an opportunity from the set piece for Real Madrid, 25 yards from goal. Xavi makes his way to the edge of his technical area with a rather concerned look. And Militao limping away from the situation.
The referee's just about got the situation under control now. Little flourish of the yellow card, but they're coming together. Eden Hazard obviously playing very much the peacemaker. The second slowly ticking away here at the end of the first half. But it looks like Alaba fancies this one.
So will it be? It'll be the left foot. In the end, high and behind from Alaba. So then, Matt Lawrence, observations on the opening 45 here in Las Vegas.
Well, I've been thoroughly entertained, that's for certain. As of right now, Barcelona very much the better team. They're pushing high up the field, really pressurising Real Madrid. Yes, Real Madrid have come into the game in the last few minutes, but you have to credit the defensive stability of Barcelona, but also the quality in the attack. The likes of Ansu Fati and Rafinha have been absolutely majestic so far.
Well, there we have the half-time whistle. Unsurprisingly, a classic in El Clasico, in the entertainment capital of the world. We have been enthralled. In the opening 45 minutes, a single, solitary, spectacular goal from that man, Rafinha. The difference on the night so many have waited for here in Las Vegas. At the break, Real Madrid 0, Barcelona 1, El Clasico tilt in favour of Barcelona for now.
If you or someone you know owned or leased a diesel vehicle between 2007 and 2020, you could be entitled to significant compensation. And at My Diesel Claim, we're experts in handling these claims. Millions of drivers have been misled by numerous manufacturers about emissions, and hundreds of thousands have already filed their claims. Simply visit our site now and check your vehicle instantly. It's completely free to sign up, and you can start your claim in seconds. Visit mydieselclaim.com and join thousands of others starting their claims today.
If you or someone you know owned or leased a diesel vehicle between 2007 and 2020, you could be entitled to significant compensation. And at My Diesel Claim, we're experts in handling these claims. Millions of drivers have been misled by numerous manufacturers about emissions, and hundreds of thousands have already filed their claims. Simply visit our site now and check your vehicle instantly. It's completely free to sign up, and you can start your claim in seconds.
mentioned it in the first half commentary. This Barcelona side has not won La Liga since 2018-19. They've very much been playing second fiddle to Real Madrid, and they don't want to do that again this season. There's a reason that President Laporta has spent so much money, even though they're so massively in debt. They've brought in Lewandowski, they've brought in Rafinha, they've brought in some real quality players, Kessie. These are players that are going to be on show today. We saw Lewandowski, we're not sure we're going to see him in the second half. We think we possibly may see Kessie as well. It will be intriguing to see these players. Going back to the first half though, I wasn't quite unhappy with the way Real Madrid played, but I think without a focal point, I think without a true centre forward, they lost a little bit of momentum every time they went forward. Eden Hazard made it blatantly apparent that he doesn't really want to be playing as a centre forward. Didn't quite throw his toys out the pram, but he kept dropping deeper and deeper and deeper and ended up picking the ball up really in the middle third of the field. That's not where we want him.
Well, we knew there were going to be changes. 5 of them, in fact, for Barcelona. Matt, what are your thoughts on these adjustments for Xavi's side?
Well, certainly, you know that in a pre-season friendly, not everybody's going to play 90 minutes. You know that. For me, it's a shame not to see more of Lewandowski. I think Lewandowski probably would have wanted to play a little bit more as well, because during half-time, poor on Lewandowski, just so everybody knows, Lewandowski played a full 45 minutes at full tilt, and then he's doing box-to-box runs with Gavi for literally the whole of half-time. So for 10-15 minutes he's doing box-to-box runs. That's why we knew we weren't going to be seeing him. It'd be intriguing to see how Aubameyang comes in and plays. We know that Aubameyang is a true out-and-out goal scorer, maybe not of the class of Lewandowski, but we'll be seeing a lot more of him. I want to see Kessie as well. We know dominates the middle of midfield, or did, with AC Milan. Won the league title, of course, Serie A, with AC Milan, and has now joined Barcelona. So be very interested to see how he is playing alongside Pedri, and with Busquets just behind him as well.
From a Real Madrid point of view, 6 adjustments at half-time. Nacho, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric, Marco Asensio, Casemiro and Ferland Mendy, the players coming in for Carlo Ancelotti's side. We expected half-time changes, and what an occasion to make your mark now, Matt Lawrence, in the second half.
Yeah, it is, and look, you've got the talented midfield now of Toni Kroos, of Modric. They're going to want to get on the ball, and they're going to want to dictate the tempo of this second half. They will be treating it, the likes of Modric and Kroos, they will be treating it as 0-0, 0-0 at half-time. This will be all about the second half for them, and can they win the second half of this game?
Real Madrid will have some defensive work to do here. Dembele with the first touch. Busquets. He nearly introduced Alejandro Balde on the far side as well. Here's Frankie de Jong operating as a centre-half here today. Dutch international who is continuously linked with a move to Manchester United of the Premier League.
Well, I'd play anywhere to not go to Manchester United as well. Frankie de Jong certainly doing that. He's quite happy to play as a right-sided centre-half. Just don't send me to Manchester.
Your words, not mine.
You can at me if you want.
Here come Barcelona in full fabulous flow. Rafinha, the goal scorer. Lovely ball played in! Offside! As the ball hit the wrong side of the post. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang unable to latch onto his cross and execute in the manner in which he would have wanted to. Here they come again. Kessie. Busquets. Rafinha. Twinkle-toed and full of endeavour. One back immediately by Araujo. Here's Dembele. Rafinha. Pedri forced to retreat. So, Matt, what should we expect in the early stages of this game?
Well, it started off very much as it did in the first half, all Barcelona.
Here they come again. Rafinha across goal. Scrambled away by Nacho at the vital moment.
Well, and we're also seeing up front, I'm quite intrigued to see now Rafinha playing on the left-hand side. We know that he prefers to play on the right-hand side. He's gone to the left. We've got Dembele playing to this right-hand side now as well, with Aubameyang playing through the middle. Frankie de Jong, the man in possession of the ball. We know how he loves to progress to the middle third of the field and spray passes around like that.
Well, Rafinha and Pedri not on the same wavelength on that particular occasion. Militao doing just about enough to rid the danger. Rafinha continues to sparkle in Las Vegas.
I don't think we should be surprised if the game is a little bit disjointed for the opening few minutes of this second half either, Callum. We saw it last night in the Chivas Guadalajara game against Juventus when there's a monumental number of substitutions take place. It just takes a little while for the teams to gel and be cohesive again. And I think we can safely assume that may happen here as well. There's already been too many changes of possession. Take the sides just a few minutes to settle down and get back into the rhythm of the game. And obviously for the substitutes to come in and get used to the pace of it.
Here's Dembele. Lovely floated ball in, but it's catching practice really for Thibaut Courtois. Here's Toni Kroos. And Asensio. Maneuvered inside by Vinicius Junior. Can Real Madrid find a way through now? Luka Modric with a teasing ball in. Easily gathered at the near post by Ter Stegen.
And he just caught the ground there, Luka Modric, I think, as he tried to just whip that ball across the face of the 6-yard box. It was nothing more than comfortably gathered by Ter Stegen. And Rafinha playing on that left-hand side. We know he loves to play on the right-hand side and cut in onto his left foot. Out there he almost looks a little bit more lost. He's not that orthodox winger who maybe wants to get to the byline and put crosses in. He's much more at home with cutting in and shooting.
Busquets. Clipped into Balde. Frankie de Jong. Lovely floated pass out wide again. Here's Rafinha. High hanging ball, easily gathered by Thibaut Courtois. So Matt, how do Real Madrid get themselves back into the realm of relevance?
Well, we need to see the likes of Modric, who's on the ball now, and Toni Kroos obviously getting on the ball, dictating the tempo of the game. And I still think without a true centre forward, it becomes very, very difficult. We know that. There's very few Manchester Cities in the world who can play without a true centre forward.
Now then, Asensio. Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior in support, as well as Vasquez on the far side. He was shepherded and defended very well indeed by the youngster Alejandro Balde, just 18 years of age, the Barcelona Academy product.
Yeah, coming back to it, Callum, I think we need to see more from Rodrigo, more from Vinicius Junior. And of course, Asensio's now on as well. I also think the fullbacks need to provide a little more impetus. Obviously Vasquez down the right and Mendy now down the left-hand side.
Lovely angled ball from Toni Kroos. There is the German again. This is Junior trying to play on the edge, and he wins Real Madrid a free kick in dangerous territory.
Well, and of course, if you're not able to create things from open play, you then want to rely on your set pieces, especially when you have players with the ability of Toni Kroos standing over the ball. The free kick's no more than 22, 23 yards out.
Well, one would assume the angle presents an opportunity here for Toni Kroos. It will be Kroos and